Hi, my name is Marley O'Connell. I'm sorry I'm kind of doing this on my cell phone, so I hope you can hear me well, and I hope I'm probably going to move a lot, so that might be a little bit annoying. But I'm at an Airbnb actually in Spain on vacation with my husband, so I have to leave this window open behind me. So sorry about the music and the display behind me. But I just wanted to talk about the Space Shuttle Challenger tragedy and kind of my take on it, and what I think NASA should have done differently. I definitely think that they should have listened to their engineers who actually have worked on the Challenger, who actually know what they're doing. They brought up a bunch of concerns about the O-ring and just how the temperatures were a lot cooler than they had experimented on, and so they didn't think that it would hold, and it didn't. And so I definitely think that instead of, I know NASA was on its own schedule and wanted to get things done for, so that the vice president could be there and that they could get to things before the European, I guess it was like the European space agency, they wanted to beat them. But they definitely should have thought more about people's lives rather than making sure they were getting stuff done on a time schedule, because it definitely seemed like a lot of things were unsafe and they just bypassed everyone's comments, especially Roger. I'm just gonna call him Roger B because I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but I definitely think that Roger, that he did all that he could to really convince them that it wasn't a good idea. There wasn't much he could do as an engineer. He didn't really have too much to say, he had a lot to say but not too much authority to make stuff happen. So I think that's kind of I guess the only issue that he really had is he didn't have the power to make stuff happen. He basically told them the issues that would come by actually going through with the mission. He could have maybe gone a little bit more in depth of what would happen with the O-ring and such, but really, I mean, this was his job. He didn't really have too much authority, and he didn't want to get fired, and he did have a family. So I did take that into account and thought about that, and I think that, I mean, he really did all that he could, semi all that he could. I think he could have maybe talked about the implications with people's lives and brought it to other management. I don't know if there was another management that he could have talked to, but definitely as a student, I see loyalty to management all the time. My previous employer, I worked at a real estate office, and even if my employer did something that I didn't really agree with, it was still his business. I still had to, I guess, go with his laws or his rules that he had at his business. So I definitely see when it's someone else's business and you're an employee, there's things that you don't really have control over, and sometimes that can be hard at a business standpoint, especially at the Space Shuttle Challenger tragedy. I think that there wasn't a lot that Roger and a lot of those engineers, there wasn't a lot that they could do, but they could see the issues that were coming ahead, and it was really a tragedy. I do remember hearing about that. I was like really young, but I remember hearing about the first teacher that went to space, and then, or that was on the shuttle to go to space, and that she died. So I definitely remember that, and I think it's really hard when you're an employee, but sometimes I think in that situation, voicing your opinion a little bit more, even though you feel not significant enough, it could have actually been a really good impact, and he could have saved a lot of lives. So that's kind of my 2 cents. I think definitely this was an ethical dilemma, and there was a lot of things that could have been done differently to help save people's lives, but that's it. So thanks, have a good day.